want to thank everyone for being here today to honor the life of Nex Benedict, a 16-year-old non-binary student that was tragically taken from our community due to systemic oppression and anti-trans violence. It is imperative that we share space with community right now. Our collective healing is vital to our mental health and for the progress of the transgender liberation movement. This year alone, 452 anti-LGBTQ bills are being tracked across the nation. Many of these bills target our young people, especially our trans youth. They take away basic rights, such as access to health care, the ability to come out in school, the ability to play sports with other kids, and the right to use the school bathrooms. These are things that every single person in this country need and deserve. To systemically strip any person of access and care is evil. It is genocide. Politicians must be held accountable for these murderous laws. In May of 2022, Oklahoma passed a law to ban trans students from using the bathroom that aligns with their gender. The law requires students in public schools to use the restrooms that are designated with their sex on their original birth certificate. The penalty for schools that violate this law is a 5% reduction in state funding. Nex's death is directly related to this bathroom law. Nex Benedict died following a violent assault in the bathroom they were forced by law to use, the girls' bathroom at Owasso High School in Oklahoma, after enduring bullying for more than a year. Nex's mother stated that the bullying worsened after this anti-LGBTQ bill was passed. Nex was only 16 years old. Nex was just a child. And I can't help but resonate so deeply with Nex's story, like all of us here today. I too was bullied for being trans, for being me. I was pushed to self-harm and suicidal thoughts. As a trans teen, every single moment felt like survival. And in this current political climate, I often still feel that way. Nex's story could have been mine. It could have been any of ours. LGBTQ youth are bullied more than their peers. 52% report being bullied. These numbers increase to 61% if the student is trans or non-binary, like Nex. These numbers rise to 70% if the student is indigenous, like Nex. Bullying leads to suicide. 41% of LGBTQ youth have seriously considered attempting suicide in the last year. The calls to a LGBTQ youth crisis hotline in Oklahoma have risen 300% since Nex's death. 300%. Our youth need us, and they need us now. The surge in hostility and violence targeting trans individuals is closely linked to the escalation of anti-trans laws and the spreading of hateful rhetoric by conservative media and politicians. And it is imperative that we demand accountability from politicians for the detrimental impact their policies are inflicting on our youth. On Friday afternoon, Tom Woods, the Republican state senator of Oklahoma, made this clear by saying this about the LGBTQ community. We are a religious state, and we are going to fight it to keep that filth out of the state of Oklahoma, because we are a Christian state. We are a moral state. We want lower taxes. These politicians are trying to silence us, erase us, and kill us. Let me tell you now, we will not be erased. Trans people have always existed, and we will always exist. These laws may temporarily set us back, but they will never erase us. We must stay visible and continue on with the movement. We must rise up for the next generation of trans people. Why? Because I can see a future where trans youth get to walk the hallways of their schools freely without fearing for their lives. I can see a future where coming out as trans is as easy as announcing your favorite color. I can see a future where trans people are immediately accepted upon coming out, where the changing of names and pronouns is not considered a burden to the people around us, but is instead considered a celebration. I can see a future where we are no longer fighting for our rights because we enjoy the same rights that the oppressor has always been given so easily and freely. I can see a future where we do not have to fear for our lives in public restrooms across the nation. I can see a future where our lives are not cut short because of systemic violence and hate. I can see a future where we no longer have to march in the streets because a trans child was killed. I could see a future where there is justice and peace for us. I can see a future where the system no longer fails us. I can see a future for trans people. And I know that all of you here today can see that future too, and that is why you are here. All of us here today create this future by being active parts of the trans liberation movement. Our revolution is happening now. It is happening here. It is happening in cities all across the US. And I am begging you to be part of it. We must continue to rise up for trans youth. Use your voice. Call your local and national politicians. Demand justice for Nex. And for every trans person across America that is beyond terrified right now, demand justice and safety for them. We rise up for now, we rise up for our future, for the next generation of trans people, so that we can all have these things that every single person deserves: safety, equal rights, healthcare, housing, education, opportunity, and happiness. We rise up for the future where trans youth get to become trans adults. And I am asking you to rise up with me. So please do not give up this fight. Do not give up on Nex. And do not give up on our trans youth. I urge you to raise visibility by marching. Immediately following this vigil, the time to act is now. Thank you.